set on time. Hello, good evening, everybody. Oh, now my grandfather clock is chiming too. Good evening, everybody. My name is Trisha Bart. I'm a Young Living Gold, and I'm with the Perfect Sense for Life Luminaries team. I make my home in Spokane, Washington. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the brand new Savvy Minerals by Young Living line, and I am so excited for this line of cosmetics. Can everybody else give me a little ooh, 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 ooh? Are you excited about having cosmetics? I'm telling you, man. I actually stopped wearing makeup, gosh, maybe 6 years ago. I stopped wearing makeup altogether. I'm just gonna mute everybody so we don't get feedback on your microphones from your phone or setup at home there. But I actually stopped wearing makeup, I'm gonna say 5-6 years ago, and I kind of got used to seeing my face again. I used to think of my makeup as like my war paint, right? That's that old cliche we have about putting on our face to go out in public. And what I'll tell you with the Savvy Minerals line is it's more about enhancing your best self rather than hiding behind a mask of makeup. And I think you're going to find it very easy to work with. It takes a little bit of trial and error to see how you like best to apply the minerals and in which order. But tonight we'll give you a walkthrough on the basics of using mineral makeup, and hopefully we'll answer the questions that you have. But first I want to let you know about a drawing that we're having, and the drawing will be tomorrow morning, so there's still time to enter. So if you go to my Facebook page, Perfect Sense for Life, it says Perfect Sense for Life Trisha Bart, and click on events, you'll see this event, Savvy Minerals Savvy. And there's a post right there for a giveaway. All you have to do is post a question or what product you're looking forward to, and you'll be entered in our drawing tomorrow morning. It'll be live on Facebook Live for one of the Savvy Minerals products. And I'll tell you that you will actually get to pick the color that you want of the product that I'm offering you, okay? So it's gonna be a fun way to experiment and get some of those Savvy Minerals into your house. So I have a short slide presentation, and during this, I'm also gonna be doing an application of the Savvy Minerals. So that'll give you a chance to see me doing it. My lighting is not fabulous here. I still look a little yellow, but let me go ahead and pop up our PowerPoint, and we'll get going here. Okay, so tonight is all about Savvy Minerals Savvy, because I think most of us, can you just raise your hand for me? Have you ever worn makeup of any kind? Right. So most of us have some experience with putting makeup on our face. How many of you have used minerals before? A mineral-based makeup? Okay, then fewer hands go up for that one. So there is a little bit of a shift in how you apply minerals to your skin, and we'll give you all those tips as we go through tonight. But I want you to think back. This is actually to our grandparents' time, right? Maybe you've heard the adage that we put or are exposed to more toxic chemicals in one day than our grandparents were exposed to in their entire lifetimes. And unfortunately, it's true of our cosmetics as well. Maybe you've heard this phrase, bioaccumulation. It's the fact that all of the toxic chemicals in everything we put onto our body ends up accumulating in our bodies because our body simply doesn't know how to process it. Everything from our shampoo, our perfume, our deodorant, our body lotion, and of course our cosmetics, unfortunately, have been continuously exposing us to toxins. And here is a list of some of the top 10 toxic chemicals in most cosmetics that we want to avoid. I think the big guys that most of us have heard of are parabens and phthalates, but formaldehyde, seriously, in our cosmetics. And you may also be familiar with the DNC color additives, dyes. You might see them as DNC Lake, red something or other, right? So those are actually toxic to our nervous and reproductive systems. And it's really kind of scary that our government doesn't really provide a whole lot of oversight when it comes to the cosmetics industry. We know from our exposure with essential oils that the word fragrance is just an opportunity for cosmetic companies to hide a chemical stew in their products because it can be considered a trade secret. So we're looking to avoid these big bad guys. And most of us just gave up on cosmetics so that we wouldn't be putting this stuff on our faces. Just a reminder, when it comes to beauty, it's not all about what you put on the outside, right? It's an inside job. It's about getting regular exercise, keeping yourself hydrated with good, clean water. It's about the food that you eat and getting regular sleep. So when I talk about the food that we eat, I like to shop the perimeter of my grocery store. I do my best to avoid processed foods. We don't need a lot of canned foods. We don't need a lot of frozen foods. If it's in a box, it's not food anymore, right? So eat the whole foods that are in the perimeter, the vegetable and fruit aisle, that's the produce aisle, the fresh meats and dairy if you eat meat and dairy. And again, with those products, do your best to go organic and at least pesticide free on your vegetables. And of course, a lot of this, our essential oils can help support us for a great night's sleep. A lot of us love to put some lavender in our diffuser. And guess what? In the month of July, we can actually get rutavala. So rutavala roll-on is one of my absolute favorites for a great night's sleep. It's a blend of rutagraveolens, valerian, and lavender. So that comes with 250 PV purchase from Young Living, free to you. Okay, couple of important things on that inside out, right? So I'm going to list two of my favorite nutritionals for supporting our skin. Ningxia Red. What can I tell you? This is my absolute favorite supplement from Young Living. It's a whole body infusion. It's the single simplest best thing you can do for your body from the inside out. We drink 1 to 2 ounces a day. Generally in my house, we drink 2 ounces a day because we love this stuff. And we love to add some essential oils to it. We love adding a drop of orange to it. And many of you have heard me joke over the years, but I honestly, he's even sitting here. I could have my husband come over and tell you I'm not kidding. We'll say almost every day after he drinks his Ningxia Red, I can feel it at the cellular level. We do love our Ningxia Red. And also sulfurzyme. So sulfurzyme is great for maintaining the structure of proteins. It will help protect your cells and cell membranes. The thing that I think is most important when it comes to healthy skin and nails and hair is that it helps with the assimilation and metabolism of sulfur. So, and just a reminder, sometimes we get the question is, I'm allergic to sulfa drugs. Well, I have a problem. A sulfa drug is something completely different than sulfur. This is a naturally occurring compound that we need to support in the body. So those are two of my favorite nutritionals for supporting beautiful skin from the inside out. Next up is having a really great skincare routine. And I love the ART skincare line. I've been using it now since 2008. And literally a month after I started using it, my husband looked at me and said, "You look younger than the day we met." And I do credit the skincare line with keeping my skin healthy. So I do use the ART Gentle Cleanser morning and evening. I use the Satin Facial Scrub every couple of days. That is an exfoliant, and that's also really important for getting a nice application of your makeup. I tone using the ART Refreshing Toner, and I do use the Renewal Serum. I use the Renewal Serum morning and night. I just frankly love the way it smells, and I love how my skin looks when I use it. And then you finish with the ART Light Moisturizer. And those products are going to be very important to getting a smooth application with your minerals. Okay, now this is a brand new product from Young Living, the Mineral Sunscreen. And I mention it because we're told everywhere in the media that we need to wear sunscreen. And absolutely, if you are getting extended sun exposure, you need a sunscreen, okay? Now, if you're just walking from your home to your car to your workplace, you may not need a sunscreen on your face for every day. We need some good sun exposure as well to make vitamin D in our body. But if you're going to be getting a little more than just a few minutes of sun exposure, use this mineral sunscreen. It's a beautiful product from Young Living. And the only active ingredient in it is zinc oxide, and it's non-nanoparticles, which means that it doesn't absorb into the bloodstream. Nanoparticles are so dangerous. So this is a beautiful sunscreen. I've heard people say, oh my goodness, there's not enough in this little tube for but 2 applications on my kiddos. I actually used about a pea size of this product, pea size for one arm, pea size for the other arm, a little more for each leg, and what was left I used on my face. I went out and gardened for an hour and a half, and I did not burn. And for those of you who have seen me in person, you know that we're going to be talking about skin tone colors, right? I am a serious cool. My skin is very, very fair. You can see I'm almost as white as the, the tube here. I'm very, very fair, and I burn very, very easily. So I got great coverage from this with using a minimal amount. So you're going to find what works best for you and for your kiddos. But try a little less is more approach with this when you first start using it, instead of lathering on a ton of it. You really don't need it. Also, if you do happen to get a little more sun than you plan on, there's another new product from Young Living that's an after sun spray. So this, we can actually say, can give temporary relief from the pain and itching of minor burns, minor cuts, sunburns, scrapes, insect bites, and minor skin irritations. So I actually loaned this to a friend of mine who had gotten a pretty good sunburn, so I don't have it here to show you. But this product is really interesting. It's a liquid in the bottle. You have to shake it up. When you spray it on, it becomes a liquid, and then it becomes a lotion on the skin. So it's very, very gentle. If you do happen to have a sunburn, you know that some sunburns, you can't even have your clothing, it's so tender. But this is a very, very gentle lotion to apply if you do need it. Okay, so let's move into the Savvy Minerals. So we all love feeling great about ourselves, and if putting on a little lip gloss or a little lipstick is the thing that you need, or just maybe evening out your skin tone with a foundation, we finally can do that. The thing that I really, really love about this product line, it is a mineral-based product line. It is free from all that junk that we don't want in our cosmetics. There is no bismuth, no talc. Those are inexpensive, low-quality ingredients that are often added to mineral-based makeup. If you've ever used a mineral-based makeup before and maybe had some problems with your skin, it was probably because of the bismuth. It's a small ingredient that can get into the pores and clog pores. That is not the case with the minerals in Savvy Minerals. And look at this: no parabens, phthalates, petrochemicals, bismuth, talc, synthetic fragrance, or synthetic colorants. This stuff is very, very clean. I'm going to pull out a little sheet here. Forgive me for reading, but these are some of the questions that a lot of people have, so I want to make sure that we address them. Is Savvy Minerals organic? You're not going to find an organic label on these products because they come from minerals. Minerals are not grown. They are inorganic by nature. So organic labeling on mineral makeup would be misleading. Is there lead in the makeup? This has been a big concern with a lot of lipsticks out there, that we were putting lead on our mouth. Savvy Minerals goes through the same testing as the Young Living essential oils do. And the test can detect any metals in the product. So if there were any heavy metals, it would not pass Young Living's testing process. Lead makes its way into cosmetics via synthetic dyes and lake dyes. Savvy Minerals has neither of those in any of the products, including the lip products. They only use mica to color the lips. So what about mica? Mica is how you get color from earth elements without using synthetic dyes. It does limit the colors, so you're never going to find a really vibrant, bright red in this product line. It's just not going to happen. But we have lipsticks. That's huge. Using mica limits us on color, but it eliminates coal tar, petrochemicals, and synthetics. Is Savvy Minerals vegan? Interesting question, right? So this product is comprised of mineral-based ingredients and therefore is considered both vegetarian and vegan friendly. The lipstick and lip glosses have beeswax, so they are not considered vegan. And when the mascara comes out, it will have beeswax in it too. So the lip products and the mascara will have beeswax. They will not be considered vegan, but the other products are. Okay, I think that answers some of the basic. Oh, how long will it last? So you may see these containers and think, oh my goodness, that's a month's worth. No, this is a good 6 months worth of using this product every single day. If you do open your foundation, the general rule of thumb is to use it within 12 months. With mascara, you want to use that up within 3 months. The lipsticks, once they're opened, you want to use them within 6 months, right? Because they're touching areas where you may have bacteria. Okay, I think I covered most of those basic questions. Let me see here. Okay. Does anyone have any questions on the ingredients in our Savvy Minerals, or something you specifically want to know about the product? And I'm going to unmute you all so you can answer that if you'd like to, or ask me a question if you'd like. Any specific questions on the ingredients?
No, making perfect sense here.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and hit mute again. You're all doing great. Thank you so much for hanging in there. And I'm going to go back and we'll continue with the presentation. Okay, so next up is the foundation color. And this is probably the biggest question that we all have. How do I get the right foundation color? So let's talk for a minute about the foundations. Again, mineral-based. Minerals are buildable, which makes them really, really forgiving. What that means is you can put on a light coating of the mineral, come back, add another light coating, and it will build in color. So I'll show you an example in a second about color selection, but buildable is awesome. Generally, you want to get a color that's going to match your skin tone, because the whole point is about looking natural and not like you put on makeup. And I saw Sandy on there. She had a question about, you know, I've used foundation before that just kind of sits on my face and looks chalky or like clay, like a clay mask on my face. I'm going to tell you that I love the minerals. It's actually very light on the skin. You're going to forget that you even have it on your skin. It will help to minimize your pore appearance and just give you a beautiful overall flawless appearance. Here are the colors that are currently available, and I'm sure they're going to be coming out with more. There's a cool 1, 2, 3, a warm 1, 2, 3, and then 4 shades for darker skin. And here is a little example of how you color match yourself. Now you may feel like, well, I don't want to invest in 4 shades of a foundation when I only need 1. But let me just point out how this works. So you can see here's, this is probably a cool, probably another cool, and then we're getting into the warms. But you see how this second shade from the left really just kind of completely disappears? This is probably her ideal foundation color, the one that sort of disappears into your skin. And a little more on color matching. So you may have seen some of this if you've been looking around Facebook about the Savvy Minerals. You might have heard some of this already. But here are some ideas. Mineral foundations are very forgiving. You can lighten or darken them by layering them on, and they don't get cakey or heavy looking. A lot of people will select 3 different foundations so that you have them available, or 3 colors, so you have them available year-round. A lighter one for the winter, darker in the spring and the summer months. And here are a couple of tips on selecting the right one. So you can check your vein color, and I'm gonna, let me turn this off for a second, stop share. So you can check your veins. My veins are very blue. Who wants to share what theirs look like? Do yours have kind of a blue tinge or maybe a green tinge?
Mine are more blue than anything.
Okay, more blue.
I think mine are more blue.
Sandy, I'm just getting a lot of white on you.
Yeah, I'm very
because
white.
of the way your light is.
I think I've got a little bit of, I think I'm a warm, like a warm 1 or 2.
A warm 1 or 2. So you probably have a little more green.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so that's one way. If the veins look more blue, you're probably a cool. If they look more green, you're probably a warm. Okay, next up, the jewelry trick. Think about whether you look better in silver or gold jewelry. And I've really taken to wearing my stainless steel diffuser necklace all the time, and I realized that almost all of the jewelry that I own is silver. So think about what you usually tend to buy for yourself. If it's more silver, chances are you're a cool. If it's more gold, chances are you're a warm. Next, think about what shades of clothing flatter you best, and you probably have a closet full of your favorite shades. So does your skin, eyes, and face look better in bright white and black hues? Then you're probably a cool. Sorry, a warm. No, I'll get it straight. I'll get it straight. It says bright whites and blacks are cool, okay? Off-whites and brown tan shades are warm. So, for me personally, I don't like the way I look in whites and blacks. I'm more likely to wear earth tones, browns, tans. So you might find some of this a little confusing. You may also find that this may mean you're more of a neutral, a true neutral. And when I wore mineral makeup before, despite all the pink in my skin and the fact that I sunburned very, very easily, I actually preferred a neutral tone because it toned down the pink in my skin. And I preferred it to look a little more even in color. So let's keep going for a second here. Your eye and hair color can also help you figuring out your coloring. Customarily, cool people have eyes that are blue, gray, or green, and have blonde, brown, or black hair with blue, silver, violet, and ash undertones. Okay, so I'm a blue-eyed blonde. Right now I have highlights, but I am actually a blonde. I'm kind of a medium to dark ash. When I go in a swimming pool with chlorine, my hair turns green. That's very typical of ash blondes. So conversely, warm-toned women usually have brown, amber, or hazel eyes with strawberry blonde, red, brown, or black hair. Their hair tends to have gold, red, orange, or yellow undertones. Okay, and then the last has to do with the sun. When you're out in the sun, does your skin turn golden brown, or does it burn and turn pink first? If you turn golden brown, you're probably warm toned, and if you burn, you're probably a cool tone. So I'm going to open this up. Okay. Who thinks they're a cool tone? Any other cool tones? Yeah, Cheryl, I think you're a cool tone. Okay, who are warm tones?
I think I am.
I think I'm more of a cool.
More of a cool?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So sometimes it's easier to tell when you compare yourself to someone else. So for instance, my husband is definitely a warm. When I hold my skin up next to him, his skin is golden and kind of honey, and mine looks reddish and white next to him. So that tells me, yes, I'm a cool. Maybe you'll find it easier to actually ask a friend if you're still really confused about which you are. But the bright side that I'll say to all of this, when I ordered my foundation from Young Living, I ordered the Cool #1, which is, you know, it's pretty close to what my neck color is. My face has actually been through a lot of ravages over the years, so it tends to be rather pink, and I like to get some of the pink out when I put on a foundation. So I ordered Cool #1, and I'm not exactly sure how this happened, but I even went back and checked my order, and it wasn't there. and I have to be honest, I did not call Young Living, tell them, but I also received a warm number 2. And warm number 2 looks really different from cool number 1. You see the difference there? Both of these look really fine on my face. So that's the cool thing about minerals. They blend, they're subtle. So to make a neutral, I can mix these two together. And that might actually be my personal ideal foundation color. But tonight I'm going to show you me using the cool number 1. So did that answer questions or create more questions?
No, that helped.
No,
Okay.
that really helped.
Good, good. If it takes some of the scary out of picking a color, good, that's good. And you may find for women of color, they will probably want one of the dark shades, but they may need to mix in one of the warm or cools, depending on whether they have more honey overtones or the pinker overtones to their skin, just so that it doesn't look ashy on their skin, which is a real challenge for women of color. Although I understand one of the best things to help with ashiness is moisturizing, okay? So I'm gonna go back to, any questions before we go back to actually getting some foundation on? Okay, here we go. I'm gonna dive in. Oh, this is gonna be great. You know I love you girls when I actually show up with no makeup, and I'm gonna actually do this too. Oh, yes, beautiful. Woo. Okay, so I'm gonna get in. I'm actually gonna show you how I apply my makeup. I may not be able to see it myself, but you'll be able to see me. I'm gonna take my glasses off. Okay, so here's the foundation. For best results, use a foundation brush. And, right, yeah, the brushes aren't available. I'm sorry. They will be available, I understand, coming in August, okay? So there are a couple of videos out there to help you do this as well. And I'm actually gonna stop sharing this. Did somebody just walk by? Is everybody okay? What happened?
Sorry,
Orange
my
dog
dog
in the
came in
picture.
from being outside.
We love dogs. They photobomb us all the time. So the tools are really important here when it comes to applying your minerals, okay? And I was using mineral-based makeup, so I have their brushes. This is called a kabuki brush. It's flat, mostly flat. So that is going to pick up a lot of the minerals. If you want a really, really subtle, just overall natural glow, you can use a rounded brush. Do you see the difference between one that, well, it's not really good because they're
Yeah.
squished. But this one has more of a rounded edge, and this one's more flat across the top. This is called a kabuki brush, if you've heard that term. So the brushes are going to be available coming in August. They are a synthetic fiber, so again, vegan friendly. They're made in Italy. The rest of the products are made in the US. How cool is that? So I'm going to use my kabuki brush. Now, you may have heard about this misting spray. So let me show you the difference. I'm going to take my kabuki brush and my foundation, and I'm just going to tap some of these minerals into the lid. And you'll get better at control, but I'm going to start with that much. Then I'm going to take my kabuki brush and I tap in there and kind of swirl it around in there. Then I tap the excess off. Okay, and now you just start in small circles on your face. And you actually want to use a little bit of pressure because the minerals get into the brush. You can already see this side is a less shiny. It's really pretty hot in my office tonight. So I love that minerals will help cut down on shine. There's a little bit of clay in there. I also go ahead and do it over my eyelid and under my eye. There's nothing in here that will irritate the eye. And it helps to even out the tone of your eye. Now, so that gives me just a real basic, simple coverage. I'm going to show you on my forehead now this misting spray. The misting spray will give you a more polished look. You shake it up and you spritz it onto your brush 2 or 3 times. There are essential oils in here. It's aloe vera, and the essential oils are geranium, rose, and I think cedarwood, but lovely. It smells delicious. Just rub off a little bit of that extra moisture so it doesn't get too wet. And then I'm gonna dip back into my minerals. So you always tap off the extra. And then I'm gonna go into my forehead here. And using the misting spray just gives you more coverage because it picks up the minerals when they're damp, which gives you a more polished appearance. So that's the foundation application. You do want to blend into the neck. But you can see how even the Cool #1 has evened out the tone of my skin and taken down some of the ruddiness that I tend to have on my chin, my nose. If you have areas that you feel need a little extra TLC, you can use a different kind of brush. It's a concealer brush. And you just tap that into your minerals. You can use any of the eyeshadows. So if there's an eyeshadow color that you think is a little lighter than your foundation, you can use that. And I'm just going to tap into those areas that tend to be a little darker. I have some stuff around my nose going on that I like to cover up. We all know those little, you have those little spots that you just want to cover up. So you can use a concealer brush to do that. So that is the foundation application. Any questions on that?
What's the difference in feel to you from the first application of the foundation to when you use the spritzer?
How does it feel different?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a little bit of coolness because the brush is damp. On my face, they don't feel any different. It doesn't feel any different. And I'll tell you that it feels very light and breathable. I don't feel like I used to wear liquid foundation, and you'd have that feeling of this like kind of drying on your face, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't feel that with minerals. Now, there are a lot of people, you're gonna, whoops, just dropped my kabuki brush. You're gonna find all kinds of suggestions online, and if you prefer a mineral foundation, you can do that with your minerals. You can mix it into the light moisturizer, and it'll take a little bit of practice, just a drop or 2 of moisturizer and then some of your minerals. You won't want to mix up a whole bunch of it and keep it. I wouldn't do that. But you can mix up a single application that way. If you prefer a liquid, you can do that. But I find it gives me great coverage, and it's very lightweight. Any other questions on the foundation? Okay, so the next step is a bronzer. And let me put up the slide on this so you guys can see that. And here's a little information on the misting spray. And really, the misting spray is most important for the foundation. You're not going to use it with your blush necessarily or the bronzer. You may want to use it with the eyeliner, and we'll talk about that in a second. So here's the misting spray. You apply it to the brush. It's not meant to be sprayed on the face. This is not a setting spray like some other makeup applications you might have heard of, a setting spray. You don't want to do that. That'll kind of it'll affect the appearance of your minerals. They won't look smooth if you do that. Okay, so here is the bronzer. Now this is an interesting tool. Okay, right now there are 2 shades available. Crowned All Over is a medium nude, and the Summer Loved is a warm brown. Okay, This is about giving your skin a healthy sun-kissed glow. Again, it's buildable. You use this for contouring. And the reason that you want to contour is that we have natural highlights and shades on our face. And when you use any kind of makeup, it kind of evens all of that out. So you need to put some of that back in. And you do this, again, with a brush and the same style of application. And you want to put the bronzer where the sun would naturally hit your face. So across the nose, and tops of the cheeks, across the forehead. But for contouring, think of like an E. So across the forehead, under the cheekbone, and along the jawline is going to give you a natural shadow for contouring. And I have to bail on this one a little bit because I didn't pick up any bronzer yet. So I can use the Warm No. 2, the other foundation I have, to give a little contour. It's a slightly darker color. And again, I'm just going to shake some minerals in. And I'm actually going to use my blush brush for contouring. But you want to go under the cheekbone. You can see that that is giving me a little bit of a shadow there. Along the jawline, so this helps those of us a little older. You can do it in the hollows here. If you're using one of the bronzers in the Savvy Minerals line, it would be absolutely beautiful to give you that sun-kissed look right across the bridge of the nose and across the top of the cheeks. And on some days, you might use that instead of any kind of blush at all. Okay, so the bronzer is about creating contour on the face. The next step is your blush. So let's look at the colors that we have available in blushes. There are 3 colors right now. Smashing is a beautiful pink. I do believe your Blushin' is a pink, a neutral pink. Passionate has darker brownish rose tones to it. So I personally chose I Do Believe You're Blushin' for myself. Smashing, for me, it's a little younger feeling. But again, with minerals, you can blend and keep it as light as you like. Blush application. So this is something you probably have already decided where you love to put your blush on. But it's helpful, depending on the shape of your face, you might want to adjust where you apply your blush. Okay, and so this slide presentation is available to you like all of my presentations. It'll be out there, and I'll put a link in the event so that you can find this slide if you're interested in this. I pulled this particular slide from the oilposse.com. She's always got great stuff out there, so this was completely free, and I think this is a lovely little reference. So I'm going to go ahead and apply my blush, and it's always the same thing. You tap your minerals into the lid, and I'm going to pick up my blush brush, and I'm going to swirl on the cap, tap off the excess, and then I'm just going to apply my blush where I like to apply it. For me, it's a slight diagonal on the cheekbone, and I do use little circles as I do it, but you can see how that's just brightening up my cheek. I'm not, you know, I lived through the 80s where we wore blush, right? So I really prefer to keep it more natural looking, just to give a hint of color on the cheek. And again, if you don't have a bronzer, you can use your blush to give you that little sun-kissed look across the nose, the chin, the forehead. All right, so let's talk about eye makeup, because that's the next step. Oh, no, mineral veil is the next step. And your veil, in this case, is called Diamond Dust. Oh, we love that. So Diamond Dust, some people think a veil is not necessary, but the veil is actually the finishing touch on your foundation, bronzer, blush, okay? And this is what really gives you that polished look. So you may not want it for every day. I personally like to wear a veil every day. It just gives you a more a more polished appearance. It helps to blur those little imperfections, okay? Right now, Diamond Dust is the only color that's available. You can see it's a very, very, very pale, almost non-pigmented color. And for best results, you're gonna use a large brush, a large soft brush. So it just easily applies to the whole face, and you're gonna use a light upward stroke while you do this. So I'm gonna just blast some of this mineral veil on. Now, again, I do not use the misting spray with this. I use that only with my foundation and my eyeliner. So I've got some of the Diamond Dust. You can see how pale it is. I'm gonna go in there, tap, 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 and I'm just gonna lightly brush it all over my face. It's not a setting powder. I don't think of it that way. But I do think of it as the final polish on my makeup. Okay. If you wanted to, you could use some of the Diamond Dust right on top of your cheek as a little highlight there. It does have a little bit of a sparkle to it, but you're not going to feel like you've got glitter on your face. All right, so let's go back in and we're going to look now at eyeshadow. That's the next step. So there are currently 8 shades of eyeshadow. Wanderlust is a white shimmer. This is great for highlights. This is probably the best one for using right under the brow and in the corner of the eye. Residual is a pale beige. You'll see they tell you if it's a matte or if it has a little bit of a shimmer to it. This has a little bit of a shimmer. Best Kept Secret is a matte nude. This is one that I suggest everyone get because it's perfect to use as a primer on the eyelid. I didn't know that until I was home and I had already made my purchase. So I will be picking up some Best Kept Secret. Next is Spoiled. This is a matte pink color. Crushin' is a nude peach with a little bit of a shimmer. Diffused is a matte plum. Unscripted is a warm plum. And Determined is a medium brown with a little bit of shimmer. So there's a really lovely selection, mostly pinks, purples, browns, and that's a lot of what we can get from Mineral. Now your eye application, again, it's about the right kind of brush. So I'm going to show you what I have, and the suggestion with your eyes is you want to brush a color across the lid to act as a primer, and that's what's going to stop any kind of creasing. I've never had problems with Minerals creasing on my eyelid or under my eye, as long as your skin is properly moisturized first, which I just realized I forgot to show you guys that. I put on my ART Mineral Serum and the light moisturizer before we got started. But that little bit of moisture is what helps the application look nice and smooth. So I have Spoiled, which is kind of that peachy color. And I like to pick a peachy color because my eyes are blue, and I think it brings out the blue in my eyes. If you have green eyes, you might prefer a plum or one of the purples to bring out the color of your eyes. And again, I just tap some of the Spoiled in there, and I'm tapping it off my brush, and I'm going to apply that to my whole lid, all the way up to the eyebrow. I'm using this as my primer, but it's also going to be my base lid color. Now the kind of brush I have has a little angle. This is perfect for doing that little trick in the crease to make a little bit of a cat eye if you want to do that. You use a darker color for that. So some people start by putting on, you want to do a primer, and then some people will do their lower lid first, and then they'll do a little highlight under the brow, and then they'll come back in and put some color right along the crease and maybe down to the corner of the eye to create that little bit of a smoky eye. That's a personal choice. I'm going to use some of the Wanderlust, that kind of white highlight here, and then I actually use more of a traditional eyeshadow brush for that. And again, you just go into your Minerals, tap off the excess, and I'm going to go right under my brow. And I'm also going to go into the corner of my eye. You can go down here too. That's just going to kind of brighten the inside of the eye. Okay, so that's a real simple eyeshadow application. Now, next up is a little bit of mascara, because I love mascara, and this will be coming in August. Okay, so the one I'm using, I'm not even going to tell you what it is. Just use what you're using until the Savvy Minerals comes out. I've gotten in the habit of putting on my mascara before I do my eyeshadow usually, because I am just sloppy with mascara. I love it, but I get it everywhere. So then I can go back and I can clean up my eyelid and I come back in and I put on my eyeshadow. So whatever works for you. But a lot of people say that if you look down, you're less likely to get it all over your eye. Some people will blink into their mascara to get a little better coverage. Some people will come back on the tops of their lashes to coat their lashes that way. It doesn't seem to matter. I always seem to get it everywhere. So if you're like me, you can come back with a Q-tip and clean it up with a little damp Q-tip. Very easy to do. Okay. I do like to put mascara on my lower lashes. That's probably because I spent so many years in the theater. You may feel it's too much. You might want to just do the corner for yourself. And we all have our makeup face. I'm not showing you what my mouth is doing right now. You know, it's like, but okay. So that's mascara. And I'm going to just clean myself up a little bit. So I use the misting spray on a damp Q-tip to get some of this nonsense off of here, right? Okay, there we go. But let's talk about the eyeliner for a second. So there are two options for you when it comes to eyeliner. So let's go ahead and look at that. There is a matte black product called Jet Set, and then there is a dark brown product called Multitasker. And the Multitasker you can use to fill in eyebrows. You can use it as an eyeshadow, or you can use it as an eyeliner, or all three. Okay, and that's the wonderful thing, you know, and you can also use both of these if you happen to get grays at the corner. You can gently brush these in to take care of that for the day. This is the eyeliner, and you use a special brush for eyeliners as well. And then here's the Multitasker as well, but I'm going to show you using these live. Okay. So I picked up the Multitasker. For some reason, I love to wear black mascara, but I don't really like black eyeliner. So here's the Multitasker. You're going to see it's actually a little bit of a purpley brown. It's kind of hard to see that there. But you can apply this wet or dry. So if you want a softer look, you're going to apply it dry. And I've seen a lot of people recommend this kind of brush. It's kind of a wedge brush. This is what I use as my brow brush, and I find this a little too harsh under my eye. It could just be my own particular brush that's a little too stiff for that. So wet or dry, I use this kind of brush. And so dry, I'm just going to tap it into the minerals. I like to go from the outside in when I apply my eyeliner. I feel like you get better control. And I like to go to about the middle of my eye on the bottom. And you can see that just applying it dry is a very soft look to help highlight the eye there. I'm not sure I got any on the left side there. There. And on the upper lid, you can apply all the way across. Again, I like to go from the outside in. You'll see people applying from the inside out. You want to go right along the lash line, as close to your lashes as you can. And what eyeliner does, it just makes your eyes pop. Can you see the difference between my right eye and my left eye? And I've actually done kind of a lousy job because I can't really see what I'm doing. I'm using the camera as my mirror here. But you can see there's a pretty big difference when I sit back. it's much easier to see my right eye than my left eye. And that's because of just a little bit of eyeliner. Now, I'm going to show you the wet application. Okay, so I've got some minerals in my cap. I'm going to take that misting spray. I'm just going to spritz it right in there with the minerals. Boop. So now I have liquid eyeliner. And I'm going to mix that up with the brush. And then I'm just going to kind of smooth my brush out a little bit so it's more of a point. And I saw the most hysterical video with Melissa Pepping yesterday. She said, liquid eyeliner can smell fear. So if you are fearful of getting this on straight, you're not going to get it on straight. But you're going to practice. And, you know, if you get to it before it dries, you can always wipe it off or make it look really smudgy. So I'm going to go on the left here under my eye. And you can see it's much more present just by adding a little bit of the misting spray. Actually, it might even be better if I show you on my hand. Yeah, so much more present with the misting spray. And then I'm gonna pop in here as well. Now, if you like that little cat eye look, you can hold your eyelid and just continue off the eye, and that'll give you that little wedge kind of look. Those kinds of things just take practice, and you'll get familiar with what you like best for yourself and what feels most like you. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrows, and I'm going to use this multitasker. Because I just got this wet, I'm gonna dry that out. I don't usually use the wet application on the eyeliner. Okay, so again, I'm going to tap some more minerals in here. And, you know, you might look at me and say, gosh, Trisha, you have really light eyebrows. And I grew up in a generation where we kind of plucked and waxed them down to nothing. And unfortunately, mine have never really regrown. So having an eyebrow is really important to me. And you might think, gosh, that multitasker looks kind of dark, but wait till you see what happens. So again, I tap, and then I'm just going to fill it in a little bit. It really is not that dark for me, but you can see the difference between having an eyebrow and not having an eyebrow, right? So the general rule of thumb is your eyebrow should start, you can hold a pencil alongside your nose. It should start there and end, and this isn't quite long enough, but if you take a line from the corner of your mouth across your nose, that's where it wants to end. And then you can kind of sweep to know where the arch is going to be. So that's one eyebrow. And I'm just going to come back in, and I try to even them up. Gosh, mine are really uneven, and that's just the way it is. But just putting a little of this multitasker in there, boom, suddenly I have eyebrows. And you see what a difference it makes in the overall appearance of the makeup. You can see my eyes. You know, the focus doesn't become my eyebrows. Suddenly you're looking at my eyes, right? Okay, so we just have one more step to go, and that's lipstick. Right now, there are no pencils, no lip liners. I don't know if we're going to get those or not, because you have to add chemicals to get all that stuff to hold together, right? But if they can make lipsticks, I imagine they'll be able to make lip pencils for us too. So, ooh, Len, could you do me a favor? Yeah. Could you go grab my purse? It's in the laundry room. Because my lip gloss is already in my purse, of course. So I picked up two of the lipsticks. I picked up Wish and Daydream. And I'll just give you an idea of what those colors look like. And let's see. Okay, so On a Whim is a beige nude. Daydream is a pale peachy nude. Wish is a nude rose, and then Uptown Girl is really a dusty rose. And again, these have a little, oh, thank you. These have a little bit of beeswax in them, so it holds them together. The thing that I just thought was so wonderful when I opened them up is there is a little, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. Nah, you're not gonna be able to see it. But there's a little Young Living logo embossed right on the lipstick. It's so beautiful. And gosh, that's one thing. I think the packaging is just stunning. It just makes us feel very special because it is so beautiful. So there are the lipstick colors. And a lipstick application, again, you don't want to trace on a mouth that's not your mouth. It just, nothing is going to make that look right. So if you do use a lip pencil, just trace around your natural lip, and the lipsticks are gonna help nourish your lips and help them look more plump. And then of course the lip gloss is going to give you a shiny, not like glitter, but just a nice shimmer to your lips. So let me show you my, I'm going to go with Wish. I'm just going to put that on there. So that's Wish. And then right over top of that, I'm going to use, this is Embrace lip gloss. And I like to put lip gloss mostly in the center on the bottom lip. It creates a highlight. But you can also put it all over. And how lovely, I don't know, am I weird? But did you ever think about your honey and when you kiss your honey and all the stuff that he was getting because of what was in your lipsticks? You don't worry about yourself so much, but you're worried about your honey, right? So now you don't have to worry about that. There's a little bit of peppermint in the lip gloss, which is lovely. So there is my after being done over a video camera, which is kind of weird. But I hope you can see the little bit of highlights that I put in there, a little bit of blush. You can see my eyebrows now, which I kind of like. And so that is the application of the Savvy Minerals, and a little bit of the lip gloss there. Lipstick will often flow into the lines on mature lips. So putting a lip gloss over it can help stop that from happening. So this is good to know. If you're looking for a way to get started, this is my suggestion to you. Pick up an eyeshadow, a blush, a foundation, a lip gloss, and a misting spray. And you can do that for about $174, okay? So that's a great way to get started. There is a website from Young Living, savvyminerals.com, where you can go and get more information on all of that. A couple things that are coming up tomorrow night. We're going to have Diamond Nancy Weber on with us to learn about mind mapping, which is a really fascinating technique for helping you with planning or any aspect in your life. This Saturday is the Live Your Passion Rally, and I'll be having one on Zoom, so you can join me on Zoom and find out about all the latest and greatest from Young Living. If you're interested in working on a summer book club, we have a group online called the Crossline Game Plan Squad. And if you're interested in joining us reading this amazing book by Gay Hendricks called The Big Leap, I would love to have you join us. And again, this is another powerful tool for taking anything in your life to the next level. If you love Young Living and you can't stop yourself from talking about it, and you're really thinking about the possibility of creating financial freedom for yourself, for your family, you'd like to know more about that, there is a wonderful book called Game Plan, which many of us have been working with since late last year. My dear friend Susan Martz is starting a group to study that on Tuesday, July 11th. And I will have another group starting up in September. So if that's something that's of interest to you, let me know and I'll be glad to get you connected to those. So that is our presentation on the Sweet Savvy Minerals. Gosh, thank you all for hanging in with me over the hour there. But I am happy to stay on and answer your questions. I hope we got most of them answered, but I just unmuted everybody. So if you have a question, go ahead and let's see if we can help.
Now that you're all dressed up and ready to go, where's Lenny taking you?
I think we're going to the movies tonight.
Ooh.
Awesome. I don't think lip gloss is too fancy for the movies. I think that's okay.
You're okay, yeah. It looks really good.
Thank you. Thank you.
So is that the one product did the eyebrows and the eyeliner?
Yes, and I could also use it. I don't have the right brush out right now, but I could also use it here to create that little extra shadow. Let me get the right brush out and I'll show you. I'll keep talking while you guys ask questions, or I'll do that while you guys ask questions.
Do you prefer the liquid or the dry for the eyeliner?
For me, the dry is more natural. For an evening out, I'll use a liquid application for sure. So this is also the multitasker, and I'm going to go right in there and here just to create that little bit of a highlight. See the difference? And you just go in the crease and then down to the side of your eye. So in the crease, oh, I really can't see with my right eye. My left eye's not good. I'll have to do that when I can be close to the mirror. That would be a disaster. So are you guys excited about this?
Yes,
Definitely.
very excited.
Did you find some products that you think you're like, I need that now?
Probably mainly the eyeliner because I use a lot of eyeliner, and when they come out with mascara, I'll definitely be looking at that.
Nice, nice. Okay. Well, I'll double check chat to make sure that I didn't miss any questions. I think we're good. So thank you all so much for taking time out tonight to learn about the Savvy Minerals by Young Living. I'm really excited about this product line. I think it just lets us put our glow on nice and natural. So thank you for taking time out tonight, and have a great evening, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Tricia.
Yeah.
Thank
My
you.
pleasure. Good night.